Hello and welcome back to Higher Sense with Haz. Today we're going to be reviewing Naxos by Xerjoff. Naxos by Xerjoff comes in this 100ml bottle. You can get smaller sizes, but this is the size that I have. Now, looking at the bottle, as you can see, it's frosted glass and it has the name of the brand and the house on the front. It also has the name of the house on the neck of this very interestingly shaped cap. Now, the cap itself, it is metal. It's non-magnetic, unfortunately, but that's hardly an issue because this bottle is fantastic in its presentation. Now, the atomizer sprays like this. That is a good atomizer and produces a nice cloud of fragrance. Now, as you can see, it's put a smile on my face because I've been looking forward to doing this review for some time, and the reminder of the scent profile that I've just received, as you can see, has caused quite a positive reaction, and this is something that you will get with this fragrance, as I'll go on to discuss. The scent cloud is nice, it's strong, and you do get a lot of elements that hit you immediately. Namely, in the top you get lavender, you get bergamot, and you get lemon. It's the lavender which takes centre stage here, and that's the most prominent note. Now, interestingly, lavender isn't one of my favourite notes, and I can struggle with it sometimes. However, such as the quality of the note in here and the other notes which complement and supplement it, and also the way it's blended, I can actually tolerate it very well, and it comes across as very nice and pleasant and gives a nice clean feel to the fragrance. In the mid you have honey, you have cinnamon, cashmeran and jasmine, and in the mid it's the honey which comes through as most prominent, and this helps form the main backbone and undertone of the fragrance. Now, in the base you get tobacco, you get vanilla and you get tonka bean. The tobacco is a nice sweet pipe tobacco. It's very pleasant and quite subtle, subtle in its scent profile. It's very detectable and nice, but it isn't harsh is what I mean. And the vanilla also complements the tobacco and honey very well, and it's the honey, tobacco and vanilla, when all of these notes are in play, when they all come through as the fragrance develops, that is what gives this fragrance its very special aura, and that is what excites me about this fragrance and scent profile. It is sublime. I would describe this fragrance as an oriental fougere. It's almost gourmand with the sweet notes, the vanilla, the honey, the tonka bean. I would describe it as quite spicy, a touch floral, and it is a bit green, and it has some nice citric notes on the top. It is an eau de parfum concentration, although if you told me that it was a parfum concentration, I'd certainly believe you. Such is the quality of the notes in play and the oil concentration. Now, Xerjoff, I would say, is a niche house. It's a lot higher than a designer brand, and they produce some quality fragrances. Now, I would say that Naxos by Xerjoff could well be one of the best, if not the best, that the house has produced. Naxos by Xerjoff has quite a cult following and is a hype beast, so to speak, and has had a lot of positive comments by the community over the years, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this review, because a lot of people hear about this fragrance and think, is it all hype? Is it worth it? I'll go on to discuss if it is and why it is shortly. The projection on this fragrance, I would say, is 1.5 feet to 2.5 feet. It is quite a strong fragrance, it's quite dense, it's quite in your face, but it projects fairly well. Longevity on this fragrance is also very good, and I would say that I get 8 to 10 hours from this fragrance, and that's at 3 or 4 sprays. I certainly think it lasts all day, it lasts the working day. You get 8 hours from this fragrance, and that's very good. That's what I look for in a fragrance, so it certainly earns review points on that front. Projection, good. Longevity, great. I would say that this tobacco vanilla based fragrance is possibly the best of its kind on the market, and that's high praise indeed, bearing in mind that Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille has always been seen as the mainstay and the main player when it comes to tobacco and vanilla. But I would say that this fragrance takes the #1 spot. So if you're looking for a tobacco vanilla based fragrance, I think this could be the one for you. The honey adds a lovely element to the tobacco and vanilla, adds another touch of sweetness, slight stickiness, helps with the very three-dimensional profile and the scent bubble of this fragrance. On the top you get some touches of citrus and the lavender comes through. It's very clean and it does complement the mid notes. Now the top notes I would say last for an hour or two. They don't die off, but they're certainly toned down. The lavender stays constant throughout the fragrance to a degree. Then the honey, cinnamon, cashmere and jasmine come into play. I would say the honey again is the front runner here, and that's what takes over in the mid. The tobacco and the vanilla come through after the mid. They come through maybe after 3 or 4 hours, but what you'll find is it's not a case of here are the top notes, here are the mid notes, here are the base notes. They don't come in like that. The top notes are here, then the mid starts to poke through, then the base comes through from there, and it's like a well-developing fire. It's very smooth. The notes complement each other well. Nothing sticks out, but in the backbone you've got the lavender, the honey, the tobacco and the vanilla, and when they are all in play at the 3 to 4 hour mark, you'll find that this fragrance takes on its own very, very special and unique profile, which I have been unable to find anywhere else. And this brings a smile to my face like no other fragrance. It is fantastic. Looking at the price for this fragrance, it is a niche fragrance, bearing in mind, and it is £205 for 100 millilitres. As you can see, I've used maybe 25-30 millilitres, although I have had a few bottles of this over the years, and it's certainly one that I like to use, especially in the later months, which I'll go on to discuss shortly. £205 for 100 millilitres, that's £2.05 per millilitre. I think for a niche house, this is good value for money. For the scent profile, I think it's great value for money, and I think £205 for 100 millilitres of this fragrance is excellent value, and I would fully recommend spending your hard-earned money on this fragrance. If you're looking for a strong tobacco vanilla based scent, then look nowhere else. This is the one for you. So describing the scent profile in the fragrance, it's a honeyed tobacco with vanilla. Sounds simple, but it's done so effectively, so efficiently, and with so much panache and refinement. It's such a desirable scent profile, but it is done with such elegance and such, I don't know how to describe it really, such magic, that when you smell this scent profile, I'm so excited. You certainly won't regret it. Now, if you're a fragrance fan that has been around for a number of years, you may remember Thierry Mugler's Amen line. They had a fragrance called Pure Havane. That was again a tobacco-based fragrance, nowhere near as refined and deep as this, but it had quite a cult following itself. Now, if you enjoyed that fragrance, this is definitely the follow-on for you. It's a more refined version of that. It's stronger, it lasts longer, and the quality is much higher. But if you've heard of that fragrance and or enjoy it, then Naxos is definitely in that category. Where to wear this fragrance? I would say for business meetings, maybe socials on an evening, and date nights. I do think it leans slightly masculine, but a woman could definitely wear this, maybe at slightly less sprays. As I discussed before, the projection and longevity is good. That is on the basis of, I would say, 3 to 4 sprays. If you're in a outdoors environment, you could do a spray or 2 extra if you really want to, depending on the months. But if you're in an enclosed area, 2 to 3 sprays. 3 to 4 sprays would certainly be enough. Seasons to wear this fragrance, well, it has to be autumn and winter. I don't think you could get away with it in the spring due to the scent profile and its strength, and certainly not in the summer. I mean, hey, maybe on a cooler summer evening, if you're in an open environment, one spray or two, if you really wanted to wear this fragrance, you may get away with, but it's certainly strong, it's potent, it's a fantastic scent profile. So if you want to wear it, you wear it, but please take caution. I would recommend wearing this fragrance on a date night. It certainly comes across as special, it's sensual, it is sexy, it's full of character, it's full of charisma, and when I smell this scent, it certainly makes me confident, and it makes me very emboldened, and certainly brings a smile to my face. And anyone that's in and around you, I think, will very much enjoy this fragrance. So if you're going out on a date and you want to impress a lady, I would find it very difficult to believe that someone wouldn't be impressed by this scent profile. It is absolutely gorgeous. So in conclusion, would I recommend Naxos by Xerjoff? Absolutely, no doubt about it. It comes with one of the highest recommendations I could give to a fragrance, and it certainly has the highest scent seal of approval. It's one of my all-time favourites. I think it's an absolute classic, and it certainly justifies the hype. Get a sample of this fragrance, try it before you buy it, and buy it you will, because once you try this scent profile, there'll be no going back. Buy this fragrance, comment below, and thank me later on. But Naxos by Xerjoff, it's an absolute banger.